out there. This is Kat and Adam here with Twin Flame Arts, bringing you 13 sign astrology. So we have a very special chart to read for you here. Adam is actually going to do all the reading for this chart, and it's specifically for one person. Her name is Selena Gomez. Selena Gomez. We all know Selena, right? So let's, I'm going to give you a little introduction here about what we do. We follow 13 zodiac signs. You might have seen this image before, where this is tropical zodiac. This is what most people know themselves to be in their signs. This is sidereal.
Which coincides with the Vedic astrology from India.
And this is the galactic. So I want to say that our dates are galactic for 13 sign. Is that right? Or is it sidereal?
It's galactic.
Okay, so we follow the galactic version of things. So Selena Gomez, her birthday is July 22nd. So she actually falls into the line of Cancer. And she got lucky enough where she's in 12 sign Cancer.
All the way through.
All the way through. So she's one of the few fortunate ones.
We'd call her a true Cancer.
She's a true Cancer.
Because her sign doesn't change.
Exactly.
A lot of Virgos are like that too.
So we're going to now go into the proof here, where we have this really cool app. It's called Star Walk on our phones, and you just type in your birthday and the time, and it will show you the true placement of your sun, your moon, your Mercury, all of your planets. But we're going to focus here on her sun sign. So she's really in the Cancer energy here.
This is astronomical alignment.
Exactly.
They call this app Star Walk 2. It's free. Anyone can download it, but it's astronomically correct.
Exactly.
And it coincides with the 13 sign astrology as well.
Now, I go by this app like it's the Bible because, my whole life I thought it was a Cancer. And then when I found out about Vedic and 13 sign astrology, I realized I'm actually a Gemini, and Adam has a similar experience too. So this app will tell you exactly what your true sign is, and it's free. Now, this is how I show people, look, you're not really this, you're really this, because this is the astronomical placement. And you have to go by that. Whereas with 12 sign, we find it very theory-based, or there's just a few differences. Now, a little bit about Selena Gomez. Let's find out here. She, of course, was born July 22nd, 1992. She's an American actress and singer. She made her first debut appearing in Gianna and Barney and Friends, lasting from 2002 to 2004. Following this, Gomez has had cameo roles in films such as Spy Kids 3D, Game Over 2003, and Walker, Texas Ranger, Trial by Fire 2005. And there was another one, right, Adam?
Yes, I'm sure all of you remember The Wizards of Waverly Place with Selena Gomez playing Alex Russo.
Yeah. And so outside of her work in the entertainment industry, she is involved in philanthropic work through charity work and various social and environmental causes. So she sounds like an awesome person. So we're going to go ahead and get started with this chart. And Adam is going to analyze everything to perfection here because he's just so awesome like that. I highly recommend y'all get an astrology reading with Adam if you are confused about your sign or you need more clarity, let me tell you something. It is all in here, okay? This is your divine blueprint. This is the snapshot of your soul when you were born. This is all of the elements, all of your karma, everything that we need to know.
Yes, we like to call it the divine blueprint or wheel of life. As you can see, it's like a wheel with each house representing one of the spokes.
Exactly.
Like riding a bike. So, yes.
We're going to get started on that.
The way I like to do this, I think of an acronym that I learned when I was, I think in third grade, my third grade science teacher. My very excellent mother just served us 9 pizzas. So, minus the sun and moon, of course. We got Mercury, my, Venus, very. Excellent would be Earth, and that sign's not there. Mars, mother. Jupiter, just. Saturn, served. Uranus, us. Neptune, 9, and Pluto, pizzas. There are other signs as well, and I will get to them. However, I like to start with the sun. And for you, Selena Gomez, it happens to still be in Cancer, as we mentioned before. I'd also like to say that not only is it in Cancer, it's also in Gemini. Where you're born in this time frame is called the cusp. It's between Gemini and Cancer. And some days you feel like a social butterfly, and other days you want to be isolated from the rest of the world. You just want to be in your own shell. Moving on from that, I also want to say that there's a certain placement where it happens to be here in the 12th house. Where that's placed is with completions. So all through your life you're dealing with completions, like in a nurturing motherly type of way. Like, how do you, Selena Gomez, feel complete in this world? By nurturing others. Moving on from there, we go to the moon. The moon represents emotions. Your emotions are in Pisces. And that means on a very deep level, emotional water level, that you're able to be in tune with other people. You're naturally an empath. And in this house is the 9th house, is like religion, philosophy, and spirituality, higher education. Where it's placed is your super conscious mind. So, believe it or not, your higher self guides you throughout your life, whether you consciously know that or you're unconsciously picking that up. But you've been guided ever since you were born and led by your emotions. You follow your heart. Moving from the moon, we go to Mercury. Mercury represents the way we communicate. And for you, Selena, it happens to be in a nurturing way. Your words are very nurturing to other people. Also, as you can see, this little thing represents a retrograde. You see them are here as well. These retrogrades are very important. Mercury in retrograde means during the time Mercury in retrograde, when communication and electronics and all this other stuff ceases to function for other people. For you, Selena, it happens to be your best moments during Mercury retrograde because you were born during Mercury retrograde. And where this is placed, it happens to be with your personal direction. The way you communicate throughout life. You can be quite a bit of a negotiator, negotiating contracts and whatnot. And for you, it doesn't matter if it's in Mercury retrograde. Most people, the ones that don't have the birth in Mercury retrograde, it's not wise to, sign contracts and do all that kind of stuff. But for you, you have an advantage. As well as the rest of you that were born during Mercury retrograde. Moving on from Mercury, we go over here to Venus. Venus also happens to be in Cancer. And where Venus is placed is in the first house, which represents self. And it talks about your persona, what you value in this life in a nurturing way. You know, maybe you have a pet that you're very near and dear to. It could be a cat that you just think about constantly whenever you're away from your cat and things like that. You have a love for nurturing. Moving from there, we go to Mars. Mars represents action. Happens to be in Taurus. That's taking action and planning in the 10th house, which is the house of career. And for you, Selena, it's with duties and responsibilities. So you take action in planning, and you consider that part of your duties and responsibilities. Moving from Mars, we head over to Jupiter. Jupiter is interesting because it represents expansion and luck, and it happens to be in Leo. It just gives more energy to a Leo, and Leo's naturally ruled by the sun, so Jupiter being in Leo is really nice, and it happens to be here in the second house, which is the house of material goods and possessions. For you, it's your physical possessions. And because the Jupiter is in Leo, your physical possessions, they actually amplify your spotlight, as they would say. Like the things that you hold near and dear, and you're passionate about them very much so. Also, Jupiter is a type of magic too. And because it's in Leo, you're able to get the roles that you apply for because you're natural star at this stuff. Moving from there, we move to Saturn. Saturn represents deals with your past life, karma, and things like that. It's also the great teacher in this wheel of life. For you, Saturn happens to be in Capricorn, but it here is also retrograde, meaning that the life that you just had before this life, you are doing all over again. Something did not go right. Maybe you were cast out of your city, or you had an early death because of some situation that has to deal with magic. Anyway, moving from here, we say that you need to own that. You know, you playing that role, that character is still with you. So continue to have the magic in your life. Be the sage that you are. Oh, it's in the 7th house as well. So basically, where it's placed happens to be the marriages. So eventually, you'll settle down with somebody that's very well structured and planned and everything, and they're going to teach you some things. So more than likely, you'll end up with somebody that's older than you and wiser, and they will teach you a lot of things in life. Moving from Saturn, we go to Uranus, and Uranus is in the 6th house, which is the house of health and service, where its place is in Sagittarius, and as you can see, it's retrograde. So you're a natural rebel, and you're seeking the truth. So you're a rebel with a cause when it comes to health and healing. And also, you want to know the truth. So more than likely, I don't know if you're doing it now, but more than likely, you want to find out if vaccines do really cause some autism or any other issues or problems that people say they cause. You're all about seeking the truth. And here is as well, Neptune also in Sagittarius and retrograde. You're here to realize your dream. What is your true desire in this life? You're here to realize that. See this arrow, Sagittarius? It's like true north. It's like your moral compass. Like, what do you want to achieve in this life? Like, go for it. As you can see also here, this other sign, I'll mention that later. Once again, yeah, health and healing. A rebel with a cause, and realizing your dreams when it comes to health and healing as well. Moving from Neptune, we go to Pluto. Pluto happens to be in Libra, and it's in the 4th house, which is the house of your family, your home, property. Where it's placed is your genetic roots. So you were born of American mixed with Latin, and you're finding your genetic roots and finding balance between the Latin culture and the American culture, and you're constantly seeking that balance, finding the quote unquote marriage between the Latin America and the America. I encourage you to seek your native roots and not forget to where you came from. Pluto also being retrograde means that you brought with you your talents and your skills and all of your abilities to help find that balance in this lifetime, to help others as well, and be a partner and communicate. So, moving from Pluto, we're going to talk about first this rising sign right here, happens to be in Cancer, overlays your whole chart. So you feel like a Cancer through and through because your sun's Cancer and also your rising sign. Nurturing mother all the way through every house. Amazing. Moving from there, we're going to talk about the North Node. Represents your soul path. It's where you're going in this life, where you need to be for ascension purposes and things like that. Happens to be philosopher, seeking the higher education, the religion, the spirituality. This is your path. Happens to be in the 5th house. When it comes to you, it's love affairs. Where it's placed, it's love affairs. Like, you're seeking your perfect love. Now moving from there, we talk about this sign up here. MC represents your midheaven, and that's always your public image. Happens to be Aries. Like, there is no competition for you because you crush the competition. Like, whatever you want to do, you always dive in head first and worry about the consequences later. Here we go to part of fortune, also in the 10th house, and also Aries. So basically your part of fortune and your career path are totally aligned. So where you find your career path is where you find your fortune. And you already know that because you're very successful when it comes to being an actress and a singer, songwriter. And a lot of people, they listen to you. Moving from there, we talk about what to get from the overall message. First, we'll say, Cancer rising, you're nurturing mother, but remember to nurture yourself as well. Moving from there, we talk about North Node. That is your soul path, where you need to be with your love affairs, seeking the truth of what is happening. Now, also Saturn. You're not of this age yet, but will be soon. When you hit about 29 and a half years old, Saturn will bring you lessons with building an establishment and creating art and beauty in your life, and finding some kind of purpose. Now also, you'll recognize that the third house, the eighth house, and the 11th house are empty. That means you've mastered these houses. You've mastered being with your siblings and communicating and traveling at short distances. You don't need to do that because it's natural for you. Here in the eighth house is the house of death and rebirth and debt and inheritance and all the occult things. You've mastered that too, so you're probably not into occult as much as you were in the past lives. Here in the 11th house is all about friendship and humanity, and you've mastered that too. And for you, all of humanity is your friend, and you're the kind of person that you'll go to spend a day with a fan or something, you know, of a like mind or anything like that, because that's just the way you are. You're a friend to humanity.
So can I ask you some questions?
Yes.
So, now that you've analyzed her chart, is there any indication that she will have children in this life?
If she does have a child, it will be through, as you can see here, but it would be through a love affair. Because this fifth house is also, when it comes to children and entertainment and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, she does have a child, it will be through a love affair that she has.
Okay, will she get married, you think?
Looks to be so. It would more than likely be somebody, as I mentioned before,
Someone
that's
who's
more of
older.
like a mentor or a teacher. Someone that she's known for a while. It's kind of like a Celine Dion thing where
That's what I was
Celine
thinking.
Dion married like her producer or whatever. you
Okay.
know, things like that. Like
That makes sense.
somebody that you look up to that has like a father archetype or something, you know. If your dad more than likely was not in your life all the time, then you'll probably marry someone that you would think of more as a father figure, so someone that's older than you. But it's going to be, you know, a very learning experience, and it's also a way to really leave this earth, you know, because it says here, when the Saturn is in retrograde, you're here to basically complete the life that you just had, because your life was cut too short. Your past life was cut too short, so now this life you're completing what you started. You're finishing what you started, and it has to be a marriage with an older individual that happens to be a teacher.
Gotcha. Do you see her doing any kind of travel or any like foreign work?
I see her, because Jupiter happens to be here in Leo, I see her creating some kind of a movement.
Oh, okay. What do you think the movement could be in?
I would say like renewing natural resources or something like that. It's something that she's very passionate about. It's something that she talks about often, like some kind of charity work, but it goes beyond that, you know. And she's obviously very passionate about children, as she's near and dear to her little sister and things like that. I would say more than likely it's something to do with children or animals. Could be like, you know, speaking out against what's going on in the world, and people are just like, you know, taking all these resources for themselves and not sharing with the rest of the world, or ruining the natural habitats of the animals. It's something that she is very passionate about, and I feel like it's more children or animals. It's something that she could be a nurturing mother to.
Oh,
She will lead some kind of a movement.
Is she, she's a
And
prince?
because, like, also because of the midheaven happens to be in Aries, you're going head first into something. Just think of, like, the warrioress goddess Athena, you know. She has all of that intellect, but she also has all the bronze, too. She has that strength, and Leo gives you that strength, you know, things like that.
And most likely this might happen when she gets to be with her partner and all that. Like maybe that will be
most likely
the next level of her undertakings. I mean, because I'm wondering, do you see her continuing her singing career forever, or does she go into movies?
She's been in movies for quite some time now.
But I mean, will she?
I think she will eventually
more?
take a role of mother when it comes to her movies. Like, she's gonna be stepping more into. It sounds kind of weird, but like Mother Sage.
Okay.
You know, it's like a hedge witch that is a mother of a witch learning her abilities or something more, because as she gets older she's going into the mother stage. See, there are 3 stages in life. It's maiden, mother, crone. Whether she has a fur baby or her own child, she'll be in a mother stage, you know. Some animal or some human that she can take care of, or some project that she birthed and is taken care of, you know, things like that.
Very cool.
Yes, and here actually Saturn represents like the father archetype. So when she does get married to this mentor that she has, then together they will be like, you know, father and mother to a project or whatever.
Do you get like soulmate energy or twin flame energy with her future partner?
I get soulmate energy.
Okay.
Somebody that is basically fulfilling their role so she can get off the wheel of karma.
Oh.
Yeah. It's like some mentor that she's going to marry to get off of this wheel of karma so she doesn't have to reincarnate and become, you know, a celebrity all over again, some actress and singer and songwriter.
Is she,
things like that.
Do you get any sense like she's truly happy with her path right now based on her chart?
I get a sense that she's done a lot of experimenting lately, and she's just looking to find out who she truly is, like I've said before. This is taking journeys, whether it's in the mind or it's, you know, foreign countries or wherever it is, and that's what she needs to be doing. Like, she needs to go like within and really find out who she truly is. Like, what is her philosophy of life when it comes to like her love affairs and entertainment and things like that.
Sounds like she needs to take ayahuasca.
Well, I think everybody does at one point in life, right?
Everyone, let's fly to Peru and take ayahuasca.
Anyway, this is Selena Gomez's true natal chart, or as we call it, the divine blueprint. It is exactly how the stars and the planets were all laid out at the month, the day, the year, the hour, even the minute that Selena Gomez was born into this world we call Earth.
This is awesome. Thank you so much, Adam.
You're very welcome.
All right, everyone. Well, listen, I think we're going to close up the video here, but if you have any questions, feel free to give us a shout out.